All right, well, my apologies in this episode. There's no video. This is a recording of an impromptu Facebook Live Q&A that I did, and the audio was so good, it was actually requested for me to chuck it on the podcast. So here it is. So you're not going to be able to watch this one. There's no beauty to look at. Oh, darn it. But the golden nuggets, I answer some questions like how I feel about door knocking, how do I defend my fee when sellers want to pay me far less than I want them to pay me, and a whole bunch more about message to market match, marketing. It was a very good impromptu Facebook Live. So audio only this time. Take it away. You want the normal real estate training you've been told a million times? Make cold calls, knock on doors. Best be switching off now, because in this podcast we go out of the box using unknown tactics primarily that the real estate industry's never heard of in order to get you called in more often, convert those listings and get more success without the painful cold calling. Listen up, we're in for a ride. This is Real Estate Renegades. All right, here we are. Hello. Hit me with your problems and I will do my best to rant, rave and fix. Whack them in there, and please, if you guys, I'm going to leave it up to you guys to throttle your questions so that I can finish a question, then read the next one, because I ain't going to put my, scroll through the feed in order to get the next question or whatever. So someone ask one, I'll answer it. Then when you see I'm wrapping it up, whack in the next one, because I'm not going to throttle it going through the feed. So someone whack me with the first challenge that's hit you on this Saturday game day. I hope you guys had a win. Hope someone listed something. Hope someone sold something. That'd be good. Greg Comley, it's been a while, my friend. How are you, sir? All right, who's going to hit me with their first challenge that they encountered today that I'm going to sit here and magically fix, doubling up on my time effectiveness while I drive? Jason Bond. Sir, how are you, man? Jason Bond, I tell you, I'll be just saying, do what Jason Bond says, because that guy's an animal, knows his stuff. Whatever your problems are, I'm just going to say, Bond, what do you think? And then Jason's going to do my job for me. Nice, you got the live audio. Yeah, man, it's just I don't want to cop the grief of people saying, oh, you're doing a Facebook Live in the car, oh, you're going to run over someone. I just don't want to cop the crap. So it's still in the same cradle that would be if I was on a video. But, that's why the audio. And I'm in a t-shirt, it's unprofessional. All right, sir, I have 25 skills, gifts, and talents. How do I brand myself as a musician, speaker, television actor, filmmaker, etc.? Yeah, look, I've never made someone famous in that space, but what I have done is I've identified what makes the famous people famous, and I've broken it down into a series of formulas. So it may be principles only that I'm going to give you, Daniil, rather than specifics, because I don't know your industry. The most I know about your industry is hanging out with them and being a fan of some of those folks. Like for example, we hired Shannon Knoll for a Christmas party for one of my clients, Chris Gilmore. We had Shannon Knoll, an Aussie, talent, an Aussie, singing, had number one hit songs and all of that. And of course, I've worked with a lot of famous actors, all the way to the top, being people like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Tom Arnold, Joe Manganiello, who I just saw, by the way, in that new movie Rampage with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. I saw Joe, my man. I thought that was pretty cool. They got him in the Rock's movie. So, but that being said, I have no first-hand experience of taking someone from an unknown to famous. But I have done so in other industries. I've taken unknowns in real estate and made them famous. I've taken unknowns in business and made them famous. I've taken unknown coaches, me, and unknown other coaches in real estate and made them famous within niches. So really the first thing I would say is you seem so talented in that you said singer and actor and entertainer and promoter and writer and filmmaker and all of that. I wonder if there's one that you do better than the other and you should go all in on that one. So if that is musician, then going all in as a musician will be far easier for me to give you the tight-in advice so that you can go all in as a musician. You know, it's going to be hard for you to be be ready for the opportunity when it strikes as an actor if you're busy playing a music gig. Or if you're busy playing a music gig and, you know, the acting coach who needs you for a role for a movie calls and you can't take that call because you're busy, you know, doing your musician thing. I don't know that being a jack of all trades and a master of none is going to serve you well in that space. And again, I don't know that it's not. Filmmaker, if that's the one, then make the film. You know, again, I'm going off my mentorship from the great Kevin Smith now. Make the film. You know, don't worry about getting funding to make, you know, Avengers 3, where you need $1 billion to make the thing. Make your little homemade short film. Show your chops. Look what Kevin Smith did with Clerks. He made it on credit card money. And that ended up being his or of course, as we say in Australia, that would be Clark's actually, but he calls it Clerks, so Clerks. $16,000 was the budget for that thing, and he put it all on credit cards and filmed a damn movie that still gets watched and talked about to this day. You know, so in fact, I know this is embarrassing, but I'm looking at a Clerks hat right here. So it's in the front seat of my car. Make the movie. And then as a musician, you can do your own soundtrack. Then as an actor, you can be one of the talent, so you can save money on talent. You can save money on your soundtrack and your score. You can, you know, but again, I would suggest do what it is that you do. Do it a lot. Pick one of them would be my advice, and I don't know which one that is, going all in on whichever one I suggest you're strongest at. And then start to assemble the positioning tools that the famous say it is a musician. What tools does Billy Joel have that you currently don't have? You know, what's Billy Joel got? I want you to fake what Billy Joel's got that you don't yet have. So what does Billy Joel have? First thing, he's got albums. So you better get yourself albums. It doesn't take a giant budget to do an album. I've got 2 of them and I suck as a musician. Yeah, I've got 2 albums, right? I suck as a musician. I am barely adequate. I was barely good enough to get paid. But I did get paid, and I got 2 albums. And I've sold 2,000 copies of one of those albums, and none of the other, because I never released it. But I got it, and I should do it, and it's, you know, it's mainly covers, and I didn't know really how the songwriting thing of that worked. But I should have just released it, and I probably still should. Because once you've got your music recorded, it costs you about $4 a disc to print off 100, so about $400 to print off 100 CDs. So get yourself some albums. I know CDs you might say are antiquated. Well, bad luck, still get them, right? Get your stuff up on Spotify by whatever means that takes. Duplicate everything that Billy Joel's got. Albums. What else has Billy Joel got? He does concerts, so you better do concerts. Now, what does that mean? You need to get a gig booked, right? And you need to get whatever crowd necessary there so that you can film that gig affordably, with enough of a crowd there that it doesn't look silly. You need to film that gig so that you've got content for your social media, for your DVD album, for your online downloadable or whatever, right? You need to end up making the content and the stuff, the tools of celebrity that Billy Joel has that you don't have. So that's albums, that's concerts, that's DVDs, that's live shows, that's live YouTube full-length film clips. And that can be performance film clips from your live show, no problem. You need to have a press kit, and you need to have a press release. You need to have stuff to send to pubs and to venues to promote yourself that is full of your album, that is full of your whatever. And the last thing, you know, all of your materials. And the last thing you need to do is start to build a database of your ideal audience, whoever that happens to be. So if that's music, you need to start to build a database of your fans. A big one. A freaking big one. Right? If you've got talent, then people will recognize that because it's cheaper than ever before to get to the fans, the people, the public. So you need to start to build a database in whatever media that is. I'm hesitant to recommend it on Facebook because Facebook, if they change the deal on you, which they certainly have in recent years, they've changed it from being a businesses could play somewhat for free. Businesses can't play for free on Facebook any longer. So you need to go from I still like having my database offline, meaning an email list, an SMS list of mobile phone numbers, a mailing list for mailing them things. But you need to start to build what we call your tribe, your herd, your fan base, your following, your audience. You need to start to build your database. Those are the big rocks that I would suggest for my friend and sir, I am teaching in nothing but principle here, because I do not know how to be a musician, television actor, filmmaker, etc. The speaker thing, I do know a little bit about. In fact, the one thing I know most about is the one thing I've spoken less about here, sir. But what I would say is definitely true. If it's the speaking thing you're interested in, just like I said with the musician thing, you need to go all in just on that, because believe me, part-time speakers do not do well unless your name is Billy Joel. Sure, could Billy Joel get a whole bunch of speaking gigs? Yeah, he could. But can a part-timer who's dabbling in musician, speaker, television actor, filmmaker make it as a speaker? Almost certainly not, unless you are the most charismatic son of a bitch on the planet. So, hope that was of some help, Daniil. And give me a yell, give me a PM or something if you want some further assistance in tooling up in any of those tools, because I do have the facility for you to make your CDs at $3 or $4 per disc once you've got your audios recorded. I do have the ability to make your DVDs, your video editing capabilities, to brand them up, because I do all that stuff for me. So if you want to borrow my team at cost, sir, I'm happy to extend that information to you, that team to you, that you cover the costs of my team doing those product creations for you. Jesus, I'd love to produce someone's CD for them. So you get me the music, sir, and you cover my expenses, and I'll make you CDs, no problem. Or whatever tools it is that you need. Do PM me with what my advice here is meant to you. If it means that I am here to help you, I will absolutely do so. Good, sir. Gwen, how do I feel about door knocking? Yeah, Gwen, what I would say is it's valid. If you could imagine a triangle, and I did do the opposite of what I said. I did scroll back to my comment feed earlier, and I took a question a few seconds after the last one. So Gwen's question is, how do I feel about door knocking? Look, so it's valid. It's valid, but I suppose flawed, FLAUD, right? It's flawed, but then so is every media. Door knocking is no different to cold calling, is no different to letterbox delivering, it's no different to the internet or social media. They are all simply a media to deliver a message to a prospect. That's it, right? That's all door knocking is. It is a media to deliver your message to your marketplace. Now, all media have pros and cons. They are all valid but flawed. They all have a different way to execute effectively. But the first thing that we need to study and go deep dive on, which we don't have time to do on this quick Q&A, is making sure your message isn't the flaw in the ointment. You know what the flaw in the ointment would be? If you were knocking on the door, or if you were making a cold call, or if you were putting out a social media post, or if you were putting out a letter in a letterbox, is hi, I'm just here in your street and I just wanted to know if you'd like a free appraisal, because it's Gwen. No, actually the worst way to say it would be, hi, it's Gwen here from name your real estate agency. Hi, it's Gwen here from, Ray White, Harcourts, LG. It doesn't matter. Name your brand. It does not matter. The minute you say, hi, it's Gwen, I'm your local agent from Ray White, and I'm just in the street doing free appraisals for folks. Would you like me to prepare one for you? That is a significantly flawed message, unless you like doors being slammed in your face 4 out of 5 times. Now, Gwen, you've got an instant advantage being female, that will happen to you less than if you are a male, which is good, right? You got to take what you got. You got to take your skills. I've had a lot of females say to me that, this is a male-dominated industry, it's so hard. No, actually, in many ways, this industry is easier for a female. So don't give me the gender thing. And I'm not, Gwen, you didn't, right? But many females do. They say, it's a boys' club in my office. There's just no place for a woman. Rubbish. Some of the best real estate agents I've ever met, coached and trained are female, and they use that fact that it's easier and more natural for you guys to build rapport than it is for blokes. So yeah, I'm good on now. If you can imagine a triangle, right, where at the top of that triangle we have, the media that are most able to influence, persuade, and sell, in inverted commas, The higher up that triangle you go, the more you're able to influence, persuade, and sell, but the less time effective it is. I call it a hierarchy, and at the top of that hierarchy literally is face-to-face. It is door knocking. It is meeting people at a networking meeting. Because when you're face-to-face, one-on-one with a human being, you're never more able to persuade and influence than when you are face-to-face with them. But the downside of door knocking is you can only do, 10 an hour? And you might speak to 4 people in that hour and you knock on 10 doors. You know what I mean? Your time is your problem there. And the further you go down that hierarchy, with calls being the next one, you might be able to dial 40 numbers in an hour and speak to 20 people, perhaps, But on a phone call, it's easier for them to hang up on you and say not interested than it is when you're at the first. So as you go down the hierarchy and you are more able to be more time effective, you decrease your ability to influence, persuade, or whatever. So calls are still valid because you still churn through the numbers. You're less able to persuade, but you can do more numbers. Right down the bottom of that hierarchy is emails. You can send out 10,000 emails in about a minute. Write an email in 5 minutes, you can send out 10,000 emails in a minute. But your ability to influence and persuade is at the lowest it possibly is in that email media because it is so easy to just click delete. So every media, Gwen, is valid. You just need to systemize, perfect. No, sorry, not in that order. You need to test the media with your message. You need to measure the media. You need to tweak and perfect the script and the message that you're giving to that market through that media. Once it's perfected, you need to systemize it and outsource it if possible. Once it's systemized and outsourced, you then need to figure out how to optimize it so that you're getting the most bang for buck. And then once that is done and on autopilot, semi-autopilot, or if you have to do it, you're doing it and you've time allocated it within your week, you then move on to the next media and then you rock its world. The real answer for you, Gwen, and this is the bit that you're going to hate, is that there's no one media that is the answer to the $1 million agent question. It's the layered media approach where you need to test, tweak, measure, systemize, edit, perfect, systemize, automate, and then move on. About 20 to 30 different mini marketing systems that all work in layers to your marketplace in order to have effect. I mean, look at the way I've marketed to you, Gwen, over the years. How many different media have you heard me just ranting and raving on? And again, Gwen, because I recognize, and I'm on a tiny little photo here that, I'm going out on a limb assuming that I've known you for a while because I recognize your name and I think I've met you at least in face-to-face at least once at events. But if not, I may be flawed and I'm sorry. But no matter what, you've seen emails. You probably unsubscribe from those emails. Us real marketers laugh if you unsubscribe from an email because I'll get you somehow. So there's emails you've seen. There's Facebook you've seen. Clearly you're on Facebook right now. There's media within Facebook. You've never seen this particular media that I'm now ranting and raving at you on, Gwen. We're now doing Facebook Live audio is another media for me to get to you on. And look at the way I'm sharing my marketing message. I'm doing today the old marketing influence and persuasion trick of helping someone, of proving that I can help you in your real estate career by that sneaky tactic of actually helping you. Now there's a sneaky one. Look at how sneaky and that is. See, everyone else goes around begging and saying, I can help you get more listings, I can help you listings. I'm proving I can help get you more listings by, heaven forbid, helping you get more listings. Right? That's my way of sneakily influencing and persuading you that I can help by actually helping. Very naughty tactic, isn't it? Because it's so subversive, all right, so multiple media and get that done. So yeah, long way to answer the question, Glenn, of how do I feel about door knocking. I don't feel anything about any of them. Every media that a human being still looks at can be made to work. And you just got to measure the price point of that media. In this case, door knocking is free, but it costs you time. So you measure the price point, you measure the effectiveness, you tweak your marketing message until it works, and then you put it on autopilot and systemize it. You rinse and repeat that through about 20 or 30 media, like I have done in about 20 or 30 different media that I've annoyed you lot with over the years, and you end up with a multi-million-dollar business. And it works every time. So it's your smile, Twids. Whoever said that, I'm not. All I saw was the name. I didn't see who said it. Let me go down the questioning there. Hi, Rob is saying, hi Homer, great to hear from you. G'day Rob, how you doing, my man? Been a while, man. It's been years. Tiffany Jeffrey, what's your number one response when a potential vendor, and by the way, share this around. There's only a couple of dozen of us on. Share it around. Let's get a few more bodies in there listening to this bad boy. There you go. There's my call to action. I give a little bit of value, then I ask something for you guys. Right? So there you go. Share it around. That's what I'm asking. You guys know some real estate agents. Share this with someone who you think might need it. Tiffany Jeffrey from down in Jane's office. G'day, Tiff. How you doing? What's your number one response? Hey, Tiff, are you guys coming to the event in 2 weeks' time? Hope you are. It's been too long since I've seen you guys. Tell Jane she's got to come. Oh, Jane's listening too. Hey, Jane. How you doing? You got to come. For no other reason than I've missed you. You already know all my content because I lived with Jane Blair for a week. Right? Jane was in the debut In My House program, so she knows everything I teach. I just want to see her. Good to see you, Jane. Right, so Tiffany asked, what's your number one response when a potential vendor wants you to drop your fee and you need to defend it? Yeah, okay, Jane. That is a bigger question than we've got time for here. I will give you your response, right? But I'm going to give you a great response. But it works better, and mostly you don't need it when you follow the advice I gave Gwen. When you're the famous version, and combined with the advice I gave Daniil about getting famous, right? When you are a rock star in your area, and you've stayed in touch with them via your database for 4 years, and you've helped them, 3 years ago when you put a smile on their kid's face at an Easter egg hunt, and they forever remembered you taking a kid who fell over, scraped their knee, and gave them a special Easter egg at the Easter egg hunt to put a smile on little Johnny's face because you helped them before they needed a real estate agent. This all works better in the presence of multimedia, saturation marketing, household name status, big fish, small pond. So, Tiff, that's kind of the preface I would give before I give you a script. Now, is it the best script? It's a good one. I like it, but there's a million of them, and I could probably do an hour just on this subject and give you a whole bunch to choose from, because different ones are going to suit different personality types or whatever. So, but Tiff, let me give you one. So Tiffany, I'm just going to role play for both of us. You're going to be my vendor that is saying drop the fee, and I'm going to be you, right? So my name's now Glenn, working for Century 21 in Jane's office, and Tiffany is my vendor who's saying drop the fee. So I'm going to say, so Tiff, based on everything we've talked about though, before we get to the fee, based on all of that, I understand you've got a guy down the road who is offering to do it at 1.5% and including the marketing. I understand that's the way some agents have to give that sort of offer, because it's the way they attract business. I mean, I get it, and I absolutely understand. So if that wasn't the case though, with everything that we've discussed as far as the negotiation ability, the marketing plan that we discussed, and everything we talked about having me represent you, are you, who would you choose if we were the same fee? If it was a regulated fee and we could all charge the same thing, who would you choose? Now, Tiff, I'm breaking role play here. If they don't say hands down you got bigger problems, right? The script won't work because they haven't already decided. You need them to be saying, well, of course you, Tiff. So here's then what you're saying. Well, Tiffany, I'll match him. All right? I understand he's got, he must have a little bit less experience, and he must have a little bit less negotiation skills, because that's what he's doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to match it. So congratulations, you've hired me because I want to work for you. Shake the hand and say, get out the champagne, because we're about to have a month or so together, 2 months at the longest, depending on your days on market, average days on market. And I'm going to be like a part of the furniture around here, and we're going to add you to the list of happy clients that we've served over the course of the last couple of years. So congratulations, you've hired me. Now, here's what I'm going to ask of you, Tiffany. All I'm going to ask of you, because we've got an office full of listings that are all at our standard commission, right? They're all the same. And I can't have my other team members in my office. You know Jane, you've seen Jane, she's everywhere, right? Jane and everyone like her, now I'm just hypothesizing, I don't know how many are in your team. Jane and all of my fellow colleagues are going to look at our stock list, and I can't have them seeing your property at half the com, and thus not bringing any of their best and most emotional and cashed up buyers to your property. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to put on our listing agreement here our full fee. And I'm going to give you a contract in writing, right here, in writing, that says that at the end of this, if me and my team and the negotiation skills don't more than cover the insert amount here that is the discount they're asking for, so say your full fee is 12,000 and the discounted 1.5 fee ends up working out at 6,000 including the marketing, all I'm asking is that if in your opinion the extra money that we negotiate for you does not more than cover that $6,000 differential, above and beyond what you believe, and by the way, the only vote that is coming here is you. You will just simply sign this piece of paper, you will hand it to me, and you will be getting the discounted fee that our friend just gave for. But all I'm asking is, if at the end of this process you believe, and you get the vote, you're the only one with the vote, you believe that I've earned that extra 6,000 and that effectively I've made the buyer pay for that and then some. So if it's reflected in the service you receive, in the price you end up achieving, in basically the overall outcome of getting you moved in a way that's the way you expect, if you believe I've earned that extra 6, then you end up remunerating me with that. And if for any reason or no reason at all you feel that I've fallen short, and that you feel that I've only done as good a job as our lesser experienced friend down the road, then you've got me matching it. Isn't that fair that you allow me to earn the commission I'm asking for? Rather than me just ask for it, let me earn it for you. That's fair enough, yeah? All right, I break role play there. Is that going to work every time? Of course not. But is that going to work a lot? Yeah, it is. Because you're kind of planting landmines. Now, by the way, let me just go back. I'll go back to why this is going to be good in a moment. It's now yours to lose. They're going to sign up at that with that addendum. Now it's your job to over-deliver on service, to show them your negotiation chops, to not stop, when you're negotiating at 6 p.m. a contract and the buyer says, oh, look, let's, come see me tomorrow and we'll finish the negotiations. And you say, yeah, okay, let's do that. You say, no, look, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I know the seller's up in Toowoomba, or, I think you guys are down south. I know the buyer's out in Craigieburn, or wherever it might be. Look, I'm going to take the 2-hour drive to 8 p.m. For the seller, because this is important to you. I don't want another buyer to come along and get involved in this, make this a multiple offers. I want to get this for you under contract tonight, right? So I'm going to drive 2 hours tonight. I'll be with the sellers for 20 minutes. I'll be back to you at 20 minutes past 10 if you're not going to bed at that time. I would love to do that for you. Let me do that for you. And then when you go to the sellers at 8:20, you go get that bad boy signed off and you go back and countersign that offer at 10:20. Then, heaven forbid, you offer the sellers to go back and countersign that bad boy off after midnight. Do you think if you get a final deal done after midnight, one of my clients got a deal signed off at 3 in the morning and he got a seller testimonial saying he negotiated a contract till 3 o'clock in the morning to get the deal for us, and he got a video testimonial to that effect. Do you think if you show value for the sale of this property to the point where you negotiate a contract till midnight on a Saturday night, instead of listening to me ramble on at 8 o'clock at night here, 7 o'clock at night here, you were still negotiating till 10 o'clock tonight on a deal you started today? Do you think they would have the gall to ask you for a discount in your commission, especially as you're negotiating those buyers up in increments of $5,000 and $10,000 every time you drive back and forth between buyer and seller? I'm not saying that's the only way to show value, but I'm just saying the discount commission, you're getting incentivized up front with full com, it's now yours to lose. And if you don't show that seller value throughout the process of serving them, you didn't deserve the $6,000 in the first place. Now, Tiff, I know I'm being harsh there because that's not you I'm talking to, it's any agent sort of listening in. But there's my answer, Tiff. It's a good one. It's not the only answer, but it's a good one. All right. Let's go. Oh, we've got Wise Choice having a little plug in there. Well, good on you. Why not? Plug away, Aaron. Oh, goodness. Aaron, all I'm going to say is Wise Choice, Aaron. You know what? I'm going to text you at some stage, and I'm going to say there is probably a better way for you to get home loan leads than the strategy you're implementing then. I admire your hustle. I question your tactic. And I'm going to say to you, sir, I have some better solutions for you in order to do what you're attempting to do by posting that comment there. Robert Thiedemann says hard ways are legends. I disagree, Rob, but I thank you for it, my good sir. That was my band that I was talking about that I did the album for. He usually has a supermodel too. I wonder who that is. Who has a supermodel? Me? Richard Branson? I don't know. Scott Lackman, you're never alone online, mate. No, that's true. Jane Blair, Tiffany can sing. Mel is saying, don't know of champagne, but this Facebook Live extraordinary tonight. Well, thank you, Mel. It's not the champagne, it's me. It's me. Now, Mel, here's what I'm going to ask of you. No, you've already given me a review online, haven't you? Have you gone to my Facebook page and reviewed me? If you haven't, Mel, off your trot. Go, stay on the Facebook Live, open a new tab, and give me a review, and tell the world that. Notice the principle there. Mel said I did well. Mel's under the influence of champagne. Mel, I'm going to need a 5-star review, and if you've already done one on Facebook, go find me on Google and give me a review. Love you, Mel. Thank you. I do thank you for the comments. That was very kind of you. Daniel is saying he was my famous person who wants to be an actor, speaker, filmmaker, and musician. He's saying, I appreciate your advice, sir. I'm enjoying this Saturday night so much. Thank you so much. My pleasure, sir. My pleasure. All right, Luke, door knocking seems to be most effective for me. No problem, Luke. All I would say is for Luke, you got to add some more media. Get the door knocking going, systemize it, figure out how long per week you can stomach doing it, and then let's spend some time doing other media and systemizing them as well. There is no way you're going to, in a quick enough time frame in today's market, you're going to door knock your way to megastar success. It's going to take you too long, 5 to 10 years to door knock your way to superstar status. You need to layer that with other media, Luke. Sir, please come to the $1 Million Agent Summit next week in whatever city you're in. Luke Walker, what city are you in, man? Let me just go down to the bottom of this comment thread. Luke, what city are you in? What city is Luke Walker in? Good, sir. Type that in down below. Type it in. Yes, please. Looking forward to it. Actually, wise choice. Aaron, what city are you in as well? Pop in your cities down below. You know what? I'm going to do a deal for you guys. Mildura, how far from the capital city is that, man? Which city is that and how far is it? I recognise it, but which city is it? Wise choice. Where you from, man? Aaron, the wise choice dude. Where you from? What city? Where's Mildura from? Here's what I'm going to offer. For those of you who are live, Brisbane. All right, so I'm going to offer for Aaron. You got to PM me. I'm going to offer you for Luke. You got to PM me. I'm going to offer you guys a complimentary ticket to this event I'm doing. It's one day where we talk about this sort of stuff. I'm going to give you a comp, right? A freebie to come and hang out with me for a day. You got to PM me right now, right? So it's only the people who are live. As soon as I'm off this call, I'm going to draw a line in the sand, and the PMs that come in after that don't get a freebie. But the PMs who are on live right now are going to get a free ticket, 400 kilometres from Adelaide. Shit, man. You know what? 400 kilometres. It's 4 hours. Get up at 3 in the morning. Oh no, it's Adelaide. Hopefully it's 4, because we're not going to Adelaide this tour, damn it. Is it 400 metres east of Adelaide? Because if that's the case, you're halfway to Melbourne. Keep driving and come to Melbourne. Hang out with me for a day, dude. PM me. No, you're saying for me to PM you. No, I'm saying, sir, please PM me. Please PM me, personal message me to my Facebook personal account that you're listening to this Facebook audio live on. Send me a personal message and I will give you a complimentary ticket to spend a day with me and some of my friends who have implemented these strategies with me. You're going to leave with a host of how to execute exactly what I'm talking about here tonight. So anyone who's on tonight, and only if you're on live listening to me rant and rave tonight, complimentary. 1 free ticket on me. In fact, if Naomi lets me, and Naomi's on live, she might even let me do a double pass, so you can bring your PA, bring a friend, bring a colleague or whatever. So, but PM me in now, and you're in. And Luke, if you are, sir, if you are west of Adelaide, keep driving, come to Melbourne, hang out with me for a day, man. I promise you, it'll be worth the frickin' 6 hours. If you have to get up at 2 a.m. in order to be there, man, drive the 6 hours. Dude, I've been driving for 10 hours today just to drop off my kids, just to help out my ex-partner. So, because that way I don't have to ask her to drive and meet me halfway. Dude, I'm always in the car. Look at how I double up on my time effectiveness. I help you. So, dude, drive the time. Spend that time in the car. Listen to some Tony Robbins while you drive 6 hours. Right? You should see the amount of insanity I did to get the brain I've got, because I ain't the smartest dude in the world, the amount of insanity that I did traveling the frickin' world, flying to America 14 hours each way, then 5 hours each way to New York City to do a 2-day seminar, and then flying home. Right? More time in the air than at the seminar. That's what you got to do. Got to go above and beyond. All right, so we're going around the country to Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth. Anyone who's on live tonight gets a free. Naomi's just approved a double pass. So, what was Luke talking about? It's your smile, Twids. I don't know what he was talking about there, but thank you, dude. I don't know what that is, but I appreciate it, bro. All right. You hear that, Gnomes? You better watch yourself. See, I got the dudes checking me out. I might convert. You never know. Hey, if Dwayne Johnson looked at me the right way, The Rock, the People's Champion, Dwayne Johnson looked at me the right way, I reckon he'd have a shot, Gnomes. I'm just kidding, baby. I adore that woman. See, have a look. Do you think I can persuade and sell? Have a look at Naomi Twyford, right? She's down below. Naomi Rogers Twyford. She's commented down below on this thread. Have a look at her profile pic. What do you think? You think I've got a thing or two to teach you about selling, persuading, influencing? There I do. All right. G'day, Jeff Lubes. How you doing, my man? He said, just g'day, Twids. Wise choice. Man, I've been following you for many years. I think you can help across many businesses. Dude, you're right. Aaron from Wise Choice, you are absolutely right. And the closest business that absolutely these tactics can help is finance broking, man. Mortgages, loan originating and stuff. So, dude, come along. And Mark Burris is our headliner. Geez, he knows a thing or two about frickin' your industry, I can promise you. So, yeah, definitely come along, man. All right, price objective would be good to hear, champ. Well, I've already did that, Luke. You heard it before. This audio will be up on my timeline when I'm done, so go back. Oh, price objective, what does that mean? No, I did that, handling your fee and stuff. Yeah, no, I did that. All right. Scott Pickers is on. How you doing, Pickers? It's been a long time, my man. Scotty Pickering. How you going, mate? Mate, it's been years. What's it been? 15 years, probably? Shit, man, I've been screwing around with Mickey Spillane, Scotty, in real estate. I know we've sent a few messages either way, but how good's Spillane done, Scotty? Hey? Me, Scott Pickers, and Michael Spillane used to screw around at the casino 2 decades ago, in the 90s, and flipping cards, you know, saying go ahead on gambling tables and shit. Maybe learning the seeds of our customer service skills, I don't know, but we weren't thinking that way. We were thinking about drinking and, you know, chasing women, I think. That's all we were really thinking about back in the day. But, yeah, good to see you, Pickers. Been way too long, man. We've got to find a drink at some stage, man, but, mate, drinks have been few and far between for me lately, mate. I've been so busy. But good fun, mate, good fun. Wouldn't have it any other way. Mate, who'd have thought? I'm just reminiscing with Scott Pickering here for a minute, but Scotty, you've seen some of the shit I've been up to. Who'd have ever frickin' thought that some of the crazy shit that I've been doing, and it's all because Michael Spillane dragged me out of being a musician full time to go into real estate and do that as a little bit of a hobby, and the hobby turned into a career or whatever. It's all Mickey Spillane's fault that, you know, that I'm on Schwarzenegger's frickin' cell phone list. That I've been in business with him. I've socialised with Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Richard Branson, Gary Vaynerchuk for the last however long. Mate, it's all Michael Spillane's fault. Who'd have thought? Mate, who'd have frickin' thought? So, yeah, all right. Legend, definitely some great points there. Thanks, Tina. Yes, looking forward to it. Mildura Bud is, that's our guy. Hope these people aren't getting mad at me for doing this, because I'm on the M1 now, so I'm not in dead traffic. I'm going to go over to the far left lane, and hopefully that's not, that might be a copper that's following me, so I'm just going to keep my hands off my phone now, and I'm just going to look down at my phone, and I'm never going to touch it. right? I'm never going to touch it because that when I changed lanes to the left lane, a car directly went behind me. So I'm not touching my phone again. So I can't scroll down. So all I've got to do is keep talking. I'm going to hypothesize a few questions because I can't touch my phone because it's lit up like a Christmas tree. And that car behind me is still behind me. I'm doing 100, the speed limit's 110, so I ain't speeding and I ain't touching that damn phone until that car ain't behind me. Yeah, all right. So I'm going to hypothesize a question or two. We've done fee objection. We have, what's another one you guys have got? Competition's tough in my area. You know what? Competition's tough in every area. Right, I've had a few people say to me lately, oh, Glenn, you don't understand, I'm up against some good agents. No, everyone is. Jesus. You know, there's no area that doesn't have someone, every time you get a listing, that doesn't have about 100 agents go, damn, I wish I'd have got that listing. And out of those 100 agents, there's probably 2 or 3 that are pretty good. Right? There's not an area where that's not the case, so don't think your area is different. Now, if you don't have an area like that, where you don't have 100 agents fighting and, you know, lamenting them not getting that listing, then dance in the streets and don't tell anyone that area because every other area is like that. But the good news is that most agents are not skillful marketers because most real estate training, and again, this is the reason I know this is because I was one of you. Michael Spillane, as I was just saying to Scott Pickering there, got me out of being a musician, dragged me into real estate, kicking and screaming, so I only dabbled in it as a part-time hobby for my first year. And my first year I made $77,000 as a part-time hobby. And I thought, oh, maybe there's something to this because I only made 40-odd grand in my music career, best year ever, right? So when I made nearly double that in this real estate thing, I thought, oh, okay. So that became the deal. And so it's when I was trained a prospecting script to get a listing appointment, and I was trained a listing presentation. It's the only 2 skills I was handed. I was handed a phone call script that if you made 300 calls on any given week, and if you could put up with 294 rejections, which I could not, but I persevered it for a couple of years, maybe 3 or 4 years before they made me a sales manager, because in that time what I perfected was the listing presentation. I perfected it. So they made me the sales manager because I perfected that listing presentation. Nailed it. And we had people just churning out 300 calls per week. Sometimes it was 300 seen calls per week, meaning you spoke to 300 people, got 294 rejections, got 6 maybes, and 1 or 2 of them became a listing. That was our formula. That's all we had. We had no other skills and we eventually got some of negotiation, but at the time we had no skills of negotiation, we had no skills of marketing, we had no skills of fricking anything. So we were horrible. Those agents that we were up against in those years, between 2001 and 2009 really, when I sort of retired into the REIQ, maybe 2008, I retired into the REIQ as a speaker, trainer, kind of whatever. And in my book, Punching Above Your Weight, available now on Amazon, go to Amazon, Glenn Twiddle, Punching Above Your Weight, you can grab the book. It goes into, what led to me becoming a speaker at the REIQ and then getting a taste for being a speaker and a trainer. And I thought, oh, okay, that's pretty good. So now I do that full time. But the agents that we were up against in that time should hang their heads in shame because they were beaten. We were number 1 by a country mile, and they were beaten hands down by agents with absolutely zero skill at anything. Anything. Now, we eventually, once we got to number 1 with no skill. Once we were number 1, we went and did some training with a company called Realty Technology, Roger Clark and Peter Shires, and we ended up learning a few things about negotiations, about doing killer open homes, about all of the things that we now talk about, how to get VPA. We didn't know that getting VPA every time was actually unique. We just did it. Then we learned how to do it, and actually our numbers dropped in the early days because we realized that it wasn't just a given. We were brainwashed into thinking that that's just what you did. You left with a 22A, now it's called a Form 6 listing agreement, and you left with credit card details to get your VPA, your seller's admin investment, your seller's marketing investment. So, those agents should hang their heads in shame that they allowed a bunch of no-hopers who were just making cold calls en masse with a script that got us in some doors and a listing presentation that we learnt over a 3-day training course and we just perfected. Within a month, everyone that we trained had it perfected. And we handed the entire Brisbane CBD's ass to them. Now, I'm not saying we won every time, of course, but we were number one by a country mile. I remember when I was recruiting for sales agents in about 2004, 2005-ish. I was recruiting, doing interview after interview after interview with for rookies. We liked putting on rookies because we didn't like untraining experienced salespeople. We just liked training up the rookies in those 2 things we could do and churning them out, right? So I would interview 20 people a week. You know, and we would start maybe 20 people a quarter into a training, and that training would weed them out, and we'd start maybe 4 or 5 people into our company, and then maybe 3 could stand the rejection and stuff. So we built a sales team of about 20, 25 people over the course of a 5-6 year period. We had utter dominance, right? Utter dominance between the years of 01, 02 and 07, 08. Under about 4 or 5 different brands. We rebranded every freaking year. So don't think it was because we had a good brand and a good name. We didn't. We just prospected our way to it. But it was that pain that led me to figure out how to be a marketer. So most of you are going to be up against more like what we were up against, and very few of you are going to be up against Chris Gilmore's of this world, who either through natural... There are some naturally good marketers in this country. Daniel Hayes is one of them, from Hayes Winkle. He hadn't learned a thing from anyone, right? He is self-made. A lot of people accuse me of being his coach because he markets in a very similar style that I endorse. So a lot of people, assume that I'm his coach. Well, I'm not. He's been to the odd event of mine. He's spoken at one of my events. Or no, a couple of my events. He's spoken. But he's self-made. He taught himself. He's a freaking marketing genius naturally. But then there's a bunch of other folks that came to me as real estate agents, and we've turned them into marketers. And now many of them, Chris Gilmore included, are better marketers than I am. As a real estate agent, Chris is a better marketer of the listing and selling services of a real estate agent than I am, right? He learned the principles, he effectively executed them in his own business, and he's better and more talented than I am at marketing All Properties Group and the Chris Gilmore personal brand. Don't tell him that because he still pays me, right? So, don't tell Chris. But he's better than I am. He doesn't need me anymore. Still gets me to go down there when we can kind of... I still charge him what I charged in year 1, which is like next to nothing. But still pays me, right? So it's good. It's good. So don't tell him. All right. So don't think your area is different. I think that car's gone, so I'm going to brave scrolling down a little bit. All right. A few people saying, hey, GT. Naomi saying, yes, approved. A couple of people have PM'd. Jay Blair, free ticket. Eek can't PM you. Why not, Heidi? Have you blocked me because you hate me? No, you couldn't be on this live if you've blocked me. So you must be able to PM me. Stop sooking. You can figure out a way. PM Naomi then. Find Naomi Rogers Twyford and PM her. You've earned it sitting through my ranting and raving. You've earned it. You've earned it, Heidi. So PM Naomi. Aaron from Wise Choice has just PM'd me. That's good. Who said Twiddle? Oh, Gilmore's on here. Shit. Sorry, Chris. Been talking about you. I only said nice things. And forget the bit about you not needing to pay me anymore. Just forget that. Can you forget that, Mr. Gilmore? Oops. How funny is that? Oh, I amused myself. All right. What is your giveaway tonight? Oh, Naomi's on to me. What is your giveaway? No, it's a double pass, Naomi's, to the event. I don't know how long ago she typed that. All right. I'm about to run out of petrol. So I am going to pull over and go and get me some petrol. And if I run out of petrol, this might be a very long Facebook Live while I say to Naomi, get in an Uber and bring me down a jerry can full of petrol. So I've pulled off the M1. Schwarzenegger and Stone, unbelievable. Agreed, Mike T. You're going to come with me? Dude, I invite my clients to come with. You can come with, man, if you want to. The buy-in for the Schwarzenegger poker game's not cheap, but it ain't like $100 like our old poker games used to be. But yeah, I take half a dozen of my clients every year. Took Vivian Yap last year. It was pretty cool. Vivian Yap is on tonight. What an amazing marketer she is. Absolutely. Vivian, if you are on, Vivian Yap is one of those naturally brilliant marketers that I mentioned. She's a genius. When I've spent a bunch of time with Vivian now on a couple of occasions. We've flown to America together. We went to Gold's Gym together. We ran out of petrol together. Speaking of running out of petrol, I ran out of petrol on the way to breakfast with Arnold Schwarzenegger with Vivian Yap in the car. Yes, I ran out of petrol. How embarrassing am I? That woman is one of the most talented marketers I've ever seen in my life. And every time I talk to her about anything, she's either already implemented the strategy herself, or she's already thinking like I think and has implemented similar strategies that in many ways were better than what I might have suggested. The woman is incredible and, fantastic example of a marketer first, real estate agent second, I suppose. You know what I mean? And she's a brilliant real estate agent, but she's a fantastic marketer. And that's the thing about your area is different. Very few of you guys are up against Vivian Yap, Chris Gilmore, and those sorts of folk. Most of you guys are up against maybe good or not so good real estate agents. Very cool. Where are we at? Let me scroll down. All right, Kylie McGowick. I know I got on late. Love you, Twids. Love you too, Kyles. Wonderful example of an implementer who just takes great ideas, makes them better, tweaks them to her personality, and executes well. So Kylie McGowick, look her up. She's just a fair. And you know what? I love about Kylie. She's freaking the sweetest human being ever. She's well known in her area, right? And I remember Kylie telling me a story of this little girl at a coffee shop looking at Kylie like she was looking at her at Taylor Swift. And then the mum apologised and said to Kylie, I'm really sorry. It's like she's looking at a famous person because every morning she goes past your billboard and says, "Hi, Kylie," and talks to you like you're a person on your billboard. So Kylie lives by the principle, magnificently so, win the kids, win the mum, win the mum, win the dad, win the dad, win the money. It's just that simple. And I got that principle from the great man, Bob Wolf. Right, one of the finest real estate agents to ever walk God's green earth. I've got the honour to spend a bunch of time with Bob Wolf over the course of the years. We even did a program, me and Bob Wolf together. So yeah. All right, I am done because I need to find a petrol station because I seriously am about to run out of juice and I can't find one. So, all right, so I'm going to do a runner. Guys, I hope that's been of some value. Last chance to PM me or Naomi for a double pass because only the folks who are on live get it. The minute I click finish, if I get a PM after that time, I'm going to send you a bill for, heaven forbid, $47 or something similar. So for now, I'm going to send you a bill for $0. But what I am going to do is you're going to buy me a bourbon after the event. How about that? How about that for a deal? Bring me a bourbon. Just kidding, guys. All right, I'm going to do a runner. Thanks for listening. Hope that was adding some value to you guys. It's my sneaky strategy of saying and showing to you guys how much I can help you. Because if you think tonight was good help, and I trust it was, just imagine 200 hours of that. If that was an hour, imagine 200 hours of that quality assistance in your business. I've got a few things to add. So hopefully that was adding some value to you, and there is my cunning plan. There's my subversive tactic. I help you for an hour for nothing and I don't charge you a dime, and then you might decide, shit, if that's what he gives away for free, what the hell does he charge all these dollars for all these clients for? I'm in. It's my strategy. Hope it works. Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. See you guys. Wow. Well, there you go. Hope you liked the episode. If you liked that, then what you need to do is you need to subscribe. You need to get more of this craziness because we got more are coming. I'm never standing still, and we've got so many more guests. We've got so many more strategies, more out-of-the-box thinking. So if you haven't subscribed, literally, you're like throwing away thousands of dollars. Because I tell you, if you haven't subscribed, you don't come back. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find you, I'm going to market to you, and I'm going to charge you for the very stuff that on this podcast we give away for free. So whack that subscribe button on whatever your favorite podcast weapon of destruction is, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.